Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the channel, man. Today we're here to talk about a guy who has not been too good in the media and has honestly been a super negative impact, and that would be Shaquille O'Neal. You know, Shaquille O'Neal is one of the biggest voices in the NBA world, and he has been such a negative impact on it over the last 2 to 3 years. And it's honestly very disappointing because it all really stems from one thing, in my opinion. And I don't want to be rude when I say this, but they don't watch the basketball games ever. You know, I don't think Shaquille O'Neal watches but what he has to watch for TNT, his job. And I think that might be like 1 to 2 games a week, the primetime games, you know, the Lakers games. And it's just kind of ridiculous because you watch Shaquille O'Neal. There's 2 things I want to cover real quick that are the most recent. And you see Shaquille O'Neal talk about the Detroit Pistons and how they're not entertaining, they're not fun to watch. And I don't have the stats in front of me, but you know, they were like top 5 in dunks, top 5 in fast break points, and all this entertaining, fun basketball stuff. And he just says all these wrong things with so much conviction. And then whenever he gets like corrected, and not many people do want to do this to him, and not many people actually want to correct Shaquille O'Neal, and not many people do. And whenever he does, though, he always just has a lame excuse or a lame reason behind the reasoning of just, you know, I think Shaquille O'Neal's just lazy. Shaquille O'Neal was lazy during his NBA career because towards the end you see that he didn't stay in his best shape, and he could have been probably the greatest basketball player to ever play the game of like ever. Just he could have been the GOAT for sure in my opinion, but he wasn't. And I think it's honestly the same case his post-NBA career. I don't think Shaquille O'Neal's lazy, you know, because Shaquille O'Neal obviously is like a billionaire. He's one of the most successful people, a successful businessman. But when it comes to the basketball part, Shaquille O'Neal takes his job, like, I don't think he takes it serious at all, because when he's always so negative, it's so easy to be negative over being positive. I can say anybody sucks and use the same excuses as, well, they just don't have that like swag, that like a lot of people with like Jason Tatum who don't watch basketball will talk about Jason Tatum's like that swag and that character and stuff, and will just always say like he's just not good. Even though he obviously is a good basketball player and he is a superstar, even though I don't like Jason Tatum too much, you know, I think he's very corny, but on the court, I mean, what can you really say? What can you say? And, you know, now with Ben Simmons, Shaquille O'Neal said that Ben Simmons should be locked up for making $200 million. But do we not remember prime Ben Simmons? I mean, am I the only one who remembers 2017, 2018, like rookie Ben Simmons, when this dude was going crazy as a 6'10", 6'11" point guard who could pass, you know, who could rebound, and who was just a defensive guy? He couldn't shoot, but he got a bag based off of all the other stuff that he could do. And it was rightfully so that he got the bag, because he was a top 10 NBA talent who we thought could be the next greatest player of all time. Some people did, not me, because I never thought he would actually develop the shot. But it's crazy that for someone who owes everything to the game in Shaq, talks so negatively about it and doesn't try to bring any positivity. So he you know, when I see something really bad, whatever you could think of, there's probably one positive thing you could still think of that. Think of an ex you hated. Think about a terrible friend. Think about a terrible item, whatever. You could probably find one thing you like, but you don't hear Shaq like anything like super great and like positive. You know, so I really think just if we had more just like of a positive view of the game more, like just like if he just watched a little bit more basketball, just maybe you know, showed a little bit more appreciation for like what the game is like doing these days and like how it's evolved and how it's came along so far. Maybe I feel like if he did more stuff like that, but I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, but I think it just takes away a lot of the entertainment, or just like, maybe not even the entertainment value, but it takes away a lot of just like the meat and potatoes of like sports media and like the show itself, you know, because I like to watch it for like all the teams, but you know, it always just ends up being very, you know, shallow coverage. But you know, that's all I really got for the video, man. I hope y'all did enjoy though. My camera died 3 times trying to record this, but we're getting into the swing of things. It doesn't look perfect yet, but we're gonna get into it. But until we get into it, I will see you on the next one, man. Peace.